I want to talk about this ongoing tension I keep seeing online between Black Americans and Jamaicans. It seems like every time I scroll, there's another video of a Jamaican person saying something wild about Black Americans. And let's be real, we all know why they're doing it. That kind of content gets clicks, it gets engagement, it gets views, and ultimately, it makes them money. But we really need to put this whole situation into perspective. Honestly, when Black Americans get online and argue back and forth with Jamaicans, you're punching down. I know that's hard to hear, especially for the younger folks who get angry and want to defend themselves. Nobody likes being insulted, but trust me, you are punching down. Let me break it down with some numbers. I was listening to someone talk about this the other day, and it made me do my own research. These stats come directly from Jamaican sources, by the way. Jamaica earns hundreds of millions of dollars every single year from Black American tourists. We are consistently ranked among their highest spending visitors. In 2020 alone, Jamaica brought in about $4.3 billion from tourism, which makes up over 18% of their entire national economy. And who are the top spenders in that massive industry? African Americans, not just in Jamaica, but all across the Caribbean. The Jamaican government itself has admitted they've seen a huge increase in African American visitors because they specifically market their island to us. All the local restaurants, the bars, the attractions, they all benefit from our dollars. When their own government is telling you this, it shows you how much power we actually have. So stop punching down. With the amount of money we pour into their economy, we have every right to expect good treatment and a great experience when we visit. Now, let's talk about these Jamaicans making hostile videos online. Most of these people are not the face of Jamaica's tourism industry. They aren't ambassadors. They don't own the resorts or run the hotels. They have zero authority. And right now, their arrogance is doing more harm than good to their own country. The last thing Jamaica needs is to push away its biggest spenders, especially after the devastating hurricane just hit them. They're going to need all the support they can get, and driving away tourists is just self-destructive. And here's something else to consider. A lot of the negativity Jamaicans get actually comes from their own Caribbean neighbors. People from other islands often have a strong dislike for them. Why is that? Because honestly, many other Caribbean groups dislike Jamaicans way more than Black Americans ever could. Most of us just don't interact with Jamaicans enough to have a strong opinion. Sure, maybe in places like New York or parts of Florida, there's some tension because of proximity. But for the vast majority of Black Americans, that's not the reality. Where I live, I see Black people and white people. I almost never run into anyone from Jamaica. We just don't see them enough to form an opinion. Meanwhile, they're online centering us in their conversations day in and day out. We go to their country for a week, have a good time, go home, and move on with our lives. And let's be even clearer, those loud people online don't even own the places you stay at. A lot of the resorts and big businesses in Jamaica are owned by white investors, Chinese families, and Indian business groups. Remember the viral video of the Chinese woman who was chewing out Jamaicans, talking like she owned the place? None of those loudmouth creators online dared to challenge her because they knew her words had real weight. So, to wrap up part 1 of this, the smartest thing Jamaicans could be doing right now is focusing on rebuilding their country after the storm, not picking fights with the very people who help keep their economy afloat. Stay tuned for part 2. Thanks for watching. So, continuing on this topic, I really feel like Black Americans should always try to present the best version of themselves. We can't be out here reacting emotionally or lowering ourselves to the level of every online insult. It just doesn't serve us. And speaking of that, I came across this video recently that just perfectly captured the spirit and maturity of how so many of us truly feel. In the video, this woman addressed all the online attacks She said that even though some Jamaicans online might be telling Black Americans to go home, or go back to your yard, or throwing all kinds of vulgar insults, she was choosing love anyway. She made it clear that she intends to come to Jamaica regardless. And not only that, she plans to come with people who want to rebuild homes, repair roofs, strengthen the economy, and bring in tourism dollars. She's choosing compassion and unity, not hate. And you know what? She is absolutely right. People who are feeling deeply stressed, anxious, or personally offended by this whole Jamaica versus Black America online feud are probably spending way too much time on social media. You have to understand how the algorithm works. It's designed to feed you conflict and negativity. It manipulates your emotions and pushes hateful content higher than peaceful content. Think about it. Messages filled with love rarely go viral, but hateful videos spread like wildfire. It's so important to recognize this manipulation. I remember her words so clearly. "We're coming because you need help." That message really resonated with me. The reality is, Jamaicans need support right now. I even saw a post from a Jamaican man saying the exact same thing. He was telling his own people to get off the internet, stop the online fights, and go outside to physically help clean and repair the island. The algorithm is controlling what people see. All the loving messages, the supportive messages, the ones focused on unity, they get buried. The hateful content dominates your feed because that's what the algorithm is designed to push. The woman in the video also said she doesn't care what some Jamaicans call her, whether they insult her appearance, call her names, or attack Black Americans as a whole. She is going to show love anyway. I just have so much admiration for the level of emotional maturity. This woman has such a stable spirit, a grounded attitude, and the wisdom to see the bigger picture. And what is the bigger picture? It's that many Jamaicans are suffering right now. They're hurting after the storm. They're overwhelmed. They're frustrated. And a lot of them don't know how to cope with the devastation that is all around them. So, a lot of their anger is misplaced. It's not even really directed at Black Americans personally. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure if the woman in the video is a Black American, a Jamaican American, or someone with mixed roots. But it doesn't even matter. Her attitude is exemplary. It reflects kindness, unity, and a beautiful clarity of thought. In closing, I just want to remind my fellow Black Americans that we are not actually part of the internal Caribbean conflicts that are fueling a lot of this tension. We are not the root cause. We aren't really involved in that historical rivalry. We are being inserted into a situation that belongs to the Caribbean community itself. So, I encourage all of us to stay level-headed, stay mature, and be measured in our words. Feeling angry is understandable, but reacting with more anger only fuels the very negativity that the social media algorithm is trying to amplify. Let's rise above it. Thank you all so much for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day.